All right, everybody, welcome back to Food for Thought. The topic of conversation for today's episode is nothing. I don't really have a specific topic that I want to focus on. We're just gonna see what comes up in my mind as I cook my breakfast here, and that's what it'll be about. So let's hop right into it. Oh, first of all, I want you guys to tell me what you think about my Christmas, or not my Christmas sweater, my grandpa sweater. I don't know if you guys can really see it, but this is one of my most prized possessions. I'll just tell you that much. Not really. I just got it I got it a while ago at a store. It was like a kind of secondhand thrift store, I guess you could say. Yeah, kind of like a thrift store, but it was specifically for vintage stuff. So it wasn't as cheap as like a regular thrift store, but all the clothes were good stuff. You know what I mean? So let's hop straight into it. Show you guys the ingredients for today's breakfast. We got some smoked salmon right here. For the toast, we got some avocado here, and lemon also for the toast. And shocker there. We got some grape tomatoes, which I'm gonna try a new technique that I saw actually for cutting those. So get excited for that. Get excited for that technique right there. We'll see if that works. 2 eggs, some cottage cheese. This stuff is amazing. If you don't eat it, I recommend it highly if you can, if you're not allergic. We also got 2 slices of toast in a toaster there, and just a little bit of butter for the pan. So I'm gonna start out. Let's try this technique for cutting grape tomatoes in half. So apparently what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to grab 2 lids that are the identical to each other, and what you're gonna do is you're gonna flip one over, and they need to have like a kind of ridge like this so that you can put the tomatoes in there, and then I'm gonna put another one on top and just slide the knife across, which is apparently supposed to work really well for just slicing the tomatoes. So let's do that. I'm gonna give this knife a quick sharpen though, because I don't want a dull knife to be the reason that this doesn't work. So if you guys know how much you should do this when you're sharpening a knife, let me know, because I actually don't know how many times I should be going through. I just know you're supposed to go through the course. You go through the course and then you go through the funnel. Hopefully that's good enough. And I'm also going to give it a quick rinse, because actually, I'll show you guys here. You guys can see I just sharpened the knife, and if I actually just run it across a tissue, you can see that there's can you see? There's tiny little specks of metal on this tissue there from the knife, and I do not want that in my food, believe it or not. So I'm just gonna give this blade a quick rinse. Make sure you get all that stuff off. All right, moment of truth. Let's grab some tomatoes here. However many can fit in the lid. Couple more. How many is that? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. Put this lid on top just like that. And we slice. Did it work? The tomatoes started sliding out. Ish, it worked. What is that? What is this? I don't want a paper thin tomato. Okay. Well, oh, whoops. It sort of worked. It definitely worked for some of them. Like, look at this one. It's like perfectly sliced in half. Okay, so it worked for some of them, but not others. I think I need to put more pressure down on the lid while I'm cutting. And lucky for you guys, I'm a big back, so I'm not stopping there with the grape tomatoes. We're gonna have more. Let's see, how many is this? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Let's grab 2 more, that makes 28 in total. Let me just write that down. Okay, attempt number 2. I'm gonna put more pressure down on the tomatoes this time. And also, I'm just gonna, the knife is not the longest knife that's ever been made. So I'm just gonna bring them all closer to me so that I have an easier time slicing them. And I should probably line up my knife. Oh, I think that came out much better. Let's see. Look at that. You guys can't even really see if it's cut, I guess, but wow. Okay, that actually worked really well. The second time, I kind of roughed up the skin a little bit, so maybe can you guys see that? Skin's a little wrinkly there, but I don't mind, to be honest. And that was pretty darn good. Just gonna rinse off the lid because it's got some tomato on it. You know what? Out of 10, I rate that food hack a 7. Let's see if I can get better at that in the future. I gotta get the pressure just right, I feel like. If I can get the pressure just right, where the tomatoes aren't shifting around all over the place, but also I don't crush down the top of the tomatoes, then that could be perfect. That could work really well. But anyway, let's get started on the actual meal here. Toast in the toaster, butter in the pan, and let's go. So, I was just thinking about my grandpa sweater, and it reminded me of Christmas sweaters. So, I want to talk about whether it's valid to start celebrating Christmas on November 1st. And this is a divisive topic. Might be the most divisive thing that I've talked about so far on the channel. And I'm gonna go with, it depends. It depends how intense you are about it. If you're playing Christmas music on November 1st, that's crazy, okay? Christmas music on November 1st is just, I don't know. You haven't even taken down the Halloween decorations. All the decorations are still up. And Christmas music for me, that's sacred, you know. That's when you walk downstairs with your family and you smell the Christmas tree and you know that, oh, okay, I don't have school, I don't have work right now. This is gonna be fun. That's when you hear Christmas music. You know, when you play it on November 1st, it's just like, okay, what are we even doing? Because Christmas isn't here yet, you know? You're just gonna, it's like you're baiting yourself into thinking that Christmas is here, and then you get sad when there's no Christmas yet, right? That's how it works in my mind, at least. But if you just, I don't know, talk about Christmas, being excited about Christmas, that's all right, I guess. Maybe you can start doing some decorations too. I don't know why I'm trying to police how other people are celebrating Christmas, but the point stands that celebrating Christmas or playing Christmas music on November 1st, right after Halloween, is crazy. And you're not going to change my mind about that. But actual Christmas, I'd say once you get into December, that's when you can really start ramping it up. I mean, I remember, Christmas is just awesome. We do, like, I don't know if anyone else did this, like, with their school, but they do different things at school. Like, this was when I was younger, maybe like in elementary school and stuff like that. We'd like make little artsy things and just have a ton of fun like that. And here in Vancouver, it's kind of they don't get that much snow here, but it doesn't really matter for me personally because I go back home for Christmas in Calgary. And if anybody knows anything about Calgary, it gets snowy there. So I always have a snowy Christmas. But I don't know if I would mind too much not having a snowy Christmas. I don't know about you guys. But, oh yeah, this is the secret seasoning for fried eggs. Vegeta seasoning. You should try that out. Sprinkle some on your eggs before you judge, because that stuff is awesome. It just gives the eggs an extra little flavor kick, and it's really, really good in my opinion. Anyway, sprinkle some salt on those eggs. Pepper, freshly ground. Yeah, for me, I personally hate the snow. And I don't know, some people like snow, some people are fine with snow. I don't know, it's just, I don't like it at all. It's cold, you gotta shovel it, not a fan. And I don't really, snow is definitely a Christmas, a Christmas staple, right? Like, it's almost like are you really in Christmas if you don't have snow? But at the same time, snow sucks. So I don't know if I'd care that much about not having snow for Christmas if I lived in, I don't know, like California or something like that. I'm gonna try to portion out this salmon evenly. I'm going home for reading week on Friday, and today is Thursday when I'm recording this. So I actually probably won't be recording really any food for thought while I'm back home for reading week. But anyway, I'm trying to portion out my food perfectly so that I finish the stuff that goes bad before I leave, and I don't have any left over in my fridge while I'm back home, because I don't want it to go bad, obviously. And the smoked salmon is one of those things that I'm trying to finish up before I leave. So I gotta ration this out because I don't have that much left, but I don't want to grab more out of the freezer for tomorrow tomorrow's breakfast. And I have a bunch of avocado that I need to finish as well, so. Anyway, let's get one more piece of salmon on these pieces of toast. There we go. That should be good enough. 23 grams. There we go. I'm learning my lesson with the flipping. Just gotta commit to the flip. As I crucially mess that one up. I hate when it gets stuck and it won't unfold. There we go. I'm trying to get you guys into so you can see the action that's going on here, but sometimes I gotta, okay. A little piece of egg just fell right on the outside of the pan, and I know that that's gonna burn on there and it's gonna be a pain to clean. So, yeah, this Food for Thought episode is all over the place. I'm not even talking about anything important, but you know what? That's not a bad thing. There we go. I have to get that little piece of egg off, or else that's gonna burn on there. And I hate cleaning burnt eggs. Who doesn't? Avocado, let's talk about really quick the difference between, this just popped up in my mind because I'm having avocado. So avocado is a healthy fat, right? I believe it's unsaturated. I'm not an expert on this, so don't take my word for gospel, by the way. But I'm just taking a kin course, right? A kinesiology course right now at my university, and in it, I learned a decent amount about healthy fats versus unhealthy fats and how they affect your cholesterol levels, and then what that means for your overall health. And avocado, things like avocado, eggs, those increase your those have healthy fats in them, right? The egg yolks have healthy fats in them, and I believe they are unsaturated. I'm not 100% sure, but I believe they're unsaturated. And what you kind of want to stay away from, to my knowledge, is saturated and definitely trans fats. Those are the ones that are not good for you. Well, yeah. To be honest, I'm not 100% sure if it's saturated as well, but I know trans fats 100%. You should be trying to limit those. Those are the ones that come in the processed foods, like processed cheeses and meats, like sausages, deli meats, stuff like that. I'm trying out a new technique here where I'm gonna stack all the eggs in the corner just so that they stay warm, and then I'm gonna put well, first of all, I gotta squeeze some lemon on the avocado toast here. You gotta focus up for this. Okay, there we go. That's perfect. So yeah, I'm trying this technique where I'm gonna take this portion of the pan is off the burner with the eggs, and then I'm gonna put the toast on the portion that's still on the burner, that's on as low as it can go, just so that they warm up a little bit, because they've been out of the toaster for a while and they're a little cold, obviously, right? So that way the eggs won't cook more, they'll stay warm, and then I can toast the toast a little bit. Perfect. 77 grams of cottage cheese. There we go. So yeah, talking about cholesterol levels in avocado. So these avocado, stuff like avocado, eggs, fish, that stuff is going to increase your HDL cholesterol. HDL cholesterol stands for high density lipoproteins. And your HDL cholesterol is good. You know, you want HDL cholesterol, you need it. And what you don't want a lot of is your LDL cholesterol, and that stuff comes from like the trans fats and processed foods, all of that. And you shouldn't be afraid to eat fats in general, because you actually need fats to survive, obviously. Well, maybe not obviously to everyone, but you need fats to survive, right? Like fats are, every one of the cells in your body has a lipid bilayer around the cell that helps form the cell membrane, and also cholesterol in the cell membrane. So you need cholesterol, you need lipids in your body to function. So it's not a bad thing to have those, but you just gotta have the right amount and the right types, right? So LDL cholesterol stands for low density lipoproteins, and that's the stuff that gets in your arteries and can cause atherosclerosis, which is basically, I'll search up the actual definition for you guys so that I'm not speaking out of turn here. Let me just find it really quick for my notes. So yeah, that's your, so this is when atherosclerosis is a specific type of arteriosclerosis, and arteriosclerosis is the narrowing of your blood arteries due to plaque buildup. So these low density lipoproteins can build up, when you have an excess amount of them, they can build up in your arteries and cause, inflammation, and they can eventually end up blocking your arteries or breaking off and causing blood clots elsewhere in your body. So HDL cholesterol, which is the good one, actually helps to remove excess LDL cholesterol from your bloodstream. So don't be afraid to eat stuff like eggs and like avocado that have fat in them. If you think if you think eating fat is what makes you gain fat, that's not true. It's excess calories that make you gain fat at the end of the day. It's a little more nuanced than that, but that's, at the end of the day, the main idea is calories in, calories out is what's going to make you gain weight. Yeah, sorry, gain weight, not gain fat only, right? So where am I going with this? Sorry, I lost my train of thought while I was trying to pick that out, because if you guys have seen the great misfortune of last time I tried to pick one of these out, I dropped it and I lost everything. So I'm being careful. There we go. Flawless. So yeah, no, eating fats, like the macronutrient, is not what's going to make you gain weight. And you shouldn't be afraid to eat those healthy kinds of fats that come from nuts, stuff like nuts, stuff like fish, stuff like eggs, and avocado as well. They actually have a lot of health benefits. So don't be afraid of eating stuff like that. What you should be trying to avoid is the ultra highly processed foods like sausages and deli meats and really highly processed cheeses and stuff like that. So here is today's breakfast. Looks delicious. Used the I used the tomato cutting technique on those, which I don't know if you guys have the same kind of thing, but when you, I don't know, I feel like when you make something yourself or when you switch something up, maybe it tastes good. So we'll see if those taste better the way I cut them. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, for today, not really a specific topic of conversation. I was kind of just waffling the whole time, but you know, I don't mind. This is just supposed to be me talking about whatever's on my mind for the day. So let's do a quick recap. Christmas shouldn't be celebrated on November 1st. All right, guys? So we should be leaving Christmas for Christmas time, and then we can all celebrate Christmas together. It's like too much of a good thing is a bad thing. You gotta make sure Christmas is not too long, or else you're kind of spoiling it, right? What makes Christmas so awesome is because it's so limited, right? That's what makes it so awesome. It's once a year. You don't have 12 Christmases a year. But anyway, that's number one. Number two, I guess, I don't even know. There wasn't much else in there except for talking about right at the end here, the healthy fats. So eat your avocado, eat your fish, eat your eggs, and yeah. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next episode.